Hello everyone and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're going to do another flight on the Diamond DA62. This time we'll go from Santa Cruz, which is a very small airfield in the western part of the country, and we're going north until we reach Aveiro, which is our destination airport. And the main objective of this flight is to catch the late sunset as we land. So it's more of a sightseeing flight more than anything else, because if it was an actual VFR flight, we would use actual references on the ground, which is not the case for today. So yeah, it's not a total VFR flight, but the approach will be totally manual, because the conditions for today are pretty much perfect for that. We've got clouds that are pretty high and there is absolutely no wind, so it's perfect for flying. So we'll start to do the walk around, and I will simply take off the covers and the chocks because some of the other things don't work properly. Check the ailerons if they work correctly. Check the flaps as well, which can be tricky. As you can see, this one doesn't work, doesn't do anything else. And we can also check for the landing gear. Okay, so far so good. Okay, yeah, and we have also to remove this cover that goes for the static port. Let's check the for the elevators now. Perfect. We'll just go for the basic inspection, nothing too complicated. I am using a PS4 controller for today, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna use for the actual control. You see, this one is quite tricky to get. I never managed to do a perfect walk around, believe it or not. We also have some compartments here in the front. I guess this is just for the crew. In this case, it's just me and the co-pilot. And that's another thing. If you guys know how to remove the co-pilot from this, please let me know, because I would like to fly alone and not with some person who I have no idea why is here. But anyways, we'll just go through everything. We'll go through the checklists, which are from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Keep in mind, this is the 2024, so some of these things may not be completely accurate as they are currently. So anyways, we'll start by the pre-flight inspection. So parking brake is set. The fuel selectors, we need to check that both are in the on position, which they seem to be. Next up, we have to turn on the alternators. The pitot heat is off. The engine masters are both off. The avionics switch is off. The gear selector is down. The flap selector is up, which it is. And all electric equipment, except for this tablet, which I don't know how to remove, seems to be off. So we will turn on the electric master. And we will first of all check for the fuel quantity. Let's also get some flood lighting in here as well. Okay, we seem to have an almost full tank, and I gotta be honest, that is way too much for this flight for today because we don't even need half of a tank. This airplane's range is brutal. It's like immense compared to other aircraft this size. So yeah, we'll turn on the avionics master as well, and we are going to check if the controls are free and correct. So left, right, and let's also check for movement outside. And we can't see the elevator, so I'm gonna have to use the external camera for this one, but they seem to be working fine. And the wheel, okay, for some reason doesn't really work. Yeah, let's continue with the before start checklist. We'll set the power levers to idle, which they are. Parking brake is set. The gear selector is down. Both alternators are on. Fuel pumps both are off. And yeah, so starting engine, we need to turn on the strobe lights. And we will start by the left engine. So for this we only have to do one thing, which is turn this on, wait for this little message to disappear, and once that does disappear, we simply need to press the starter, and that's it. We will check the RPMs. Yeah, they seem to be stable at 700, which is the preferred stable RPMs. We'll repeat the procedure for the right engine. There we go. Seems to be stable at 700, around that. And yeah, we'll move on to the after start checklist. So now we need to set up our flight equipment for today's flight. So for that, we will use the G1000 that is incorporated in this airplane. So we'll go to flight plan, and now we need to click with both mouse buttons on this, and it's quite tricky to get because you have there we go. So now we will input our origin, which is LPSC, and we will use runway 35. Funny coincidence, the destination airport is also runway 35 that we're going to use. So now, en route waypoints, the first one will be Gafka. And keep in mind these are IFR waypoints, I know, but they just serve as sort of a reference. And also because of the clouds, we can't be sure if the visibility is fully oops, sorry, no, not here. I want to put it here. So after Bipple, we will go for Boomog. We need to check if it's in Portugal, because sometimes it goes like to South Africa or something, or like Venezuela. It's super random. And then our last waypoint before the airport is Arbaf. This will probably be the biggest leg. Yeah, this one. And finally, for the destination airport, we will select LPAV, which is Aveiro airfield, and we will also use runway 35. And there we go. We won't use any procedures because honestly I still haven't quite figured out how to do ILS approaches, but once I manage to understand that a little better, I will likely use it, and we will go for longer flights. So yeah, now we need to set our cruise altitude, which will be about 4,000. And yeah, that's it basically. I don't think we need to set up anything else. We'll go ahead and turn on the position lights, And the taxi lights, because we are ready for taxi. First of all, I also just need to adjust the trim for takeoff. Set it for the takeoff position. And we will call the tower. And we will select runway 35 for takeoff. And we will announce taxi.
Lima Papa Sierra Charlie traffic. Diamond Sierra India Lima Lima Yankee is taxiing to runway 35. Lima Papa Sierra Charlie.
Alright, since we don't have any response, just go for the taxi. So parking brake is released and we will rev up just a tiny little bit so we can roll off. And then we can chill back on that power. And that's something that is very well simulated here on the 2024 Microsoft Flight Simulator, is that when you're in grass, for example, it needs way more power to start moving off. Okay, so check that nobody's coming and nobody is in the active runway on both sides. I don't know where you're looking at. And we will turn on the landing lights. And now, yes, we can move on to the runway. And as you can see, there's just a tiny little bit of wind, nothing too much, nothing to worry about. And we will use this runway to taxi to the other side, because this one is 17. We need to take off from 35. And we do have a little bit of wind coming from the west, which won't really be a problem, I think. For all I know, this is a very stable airplane, even with strong winds, so I don't think we will need any special care for that. Alright. Once we reach the turnaround spot here, which is right here, we will set everything we need for takeoff and make sure we are actually ready. So usually I use this spot to do run-ups on the Cessna, but here we don't really need to do that. So parking brake is set, flaps to takeoff position, and we will once again recheck the controls. So up, down, left, right. Let's see movement outside on both wings. Oh, I can't see, whatever. Pedals, and we are going to call for takeoff. We'll announce takeoff, and we're going to depart north.
Lima Papa Sierra Charlie traffic. Diamond Sierra India Lima Lima Yankee.
Parking brake is off.
Runway 35. Departure to the north. Lima Papa Sierra Charlie.
All right. So I think we're good on that. So let's line up. And full power. Yeah, that wind is blowing our tail, but it's pretty much stable. V1 rotate. And gear up. Do a slight turn to the east. Let's check out how it looks outside. will never get tired of this. Okay, so we're gonna point it to the flight path. We'll turn off the landing lights, the taxi lights, and we will engage the autopilot.
Engaging autopilot.
Yaw damper, flight director, and finally nav mode. And it should go point the airplane to the place that we want. Let's keep it at 100%. And let's maintain the flaps while we climb. Let's reduce just a tiny bit of throttle, just so we don't overstress the engine. And we're cool. We are up in the air. Look at that. Not sure what that is on the horizon. Looks like a big tsunami coming, but I will we'll just ignore that. Okay, so now I think we can set the flaps up so we don't have that much drag as our airspeed is reducing fairly enough. And we can remove the floodlights. Get some of that instrument lighting to the max. Just see if there's actually any difference. There is. Okay. Like that is fine. Alright. We're doing great. I really don't know how to remove this from here. If I click tab, it will go to me, but I can't, like, see, it is just... Oh, okay. Alright, okay. No. Okay. We'll just remove it from there. There we go, finally. Okay, now we are making our way to our first waypoint, which is Gavka. It is pretty short hop when we get there. There we go, we are stabilizing the flight. We are at 4,000 feet, and this will be our cruise altitude. The visibility is just perfect. So, yeah, let's see if we can contact the Lisbon Tower. I tried doing this once, it didn't really work. It only gave us the option to tune in the center approach. If we do that, we don't really have any options, because it doesn't really make sense. But I thought we could contact the Lisbon Tower just so we could have clearance on the airspace, because we are going to cross an airbase a little more further. But whatever. Not gonna judge. If we stay silent, we will stay silent. That's not a problem for me. So 72%, that's fine. That's our airspeed. 144, that is going awesome. If we overspeed, we'll just reduce throttle. And I will just turn on the pitot heat just for that message to disappear. It is not that cold, so it isn't really necessary, but just for perfectionism, I guess. Right. So I was actually pretty hesitant to bring this. We have to talk about... this is something that I actually need to talk about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And I'm going to compare it, and I'm going to be rough. Because this does not look like a finished product, even after 2 years of its launch. And it would be okay if they gave us like a discount or something, but no, the game still costs at least 80 bucks. I, of course, did not spend that money. I basically did a €1 trial on the Xbox Game Pass, and it gave me access to this game for about 2 weeks. And I think it's just enough time for me to bring at least one video to the channel. And if in the future there is a discount on Steam, I will maybe consider buying the game. Since I have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, the differences, they are substantial, but not, not redefining, because, I mean, in the ground detail aspect, it is brutal. It is a brutal change, and you can notice in any place. I mean, this airport in 2020 that we just took off from, it has no detail at all. It has only the tower. And okay, there we go. That's our first waypoint. We are now making our way to Vippel, if I'm correct. Okay, continue. Yeah, and in this Flight Simulator 2024, there is a lot of detail that isn't present in 2020. Not only in the buildings, but also in the grass textures and the dirt and the sea and stuff. There's just a lot of detail that's I noticed a lot more life out there. The cars are still the same. I think that's the same. They continue to glitch to and pass through buildings and clip and whatever. But overall, the game is just it is a bit better than 2020. But for the amount of glitches and bugs and unstableness that this game has, I do not think it's worth to buy FS 2024 just yet. Maybe if they actually fix it, I will consider buying it, but for now I don't really think it's worth it, if I'm being completely real. So yeah, that's why I was hesitant to bring this, because I was actually just going to do this flight on 2020, but then I decided to just give it a try, I've seen videos on YouTube about this, about how unstable it is, and in terms of performance, 2020 holds way better. Oh, and another point is that on this one, you only need about 35 gigabytes of free space, while in FS 2020, you need at least 160 gigabytes. And so it is a brutal difference, but that also comes with a little problem, which is if you don't have a stable internet connection, you are doomed. You cannot do anything in this. Even the career mode, which I have given it a try, and I must say it isn't what I thought it was, mostly because you can pick any airport, and I think that's really cool. But in the actual flight lessons, you are not in the airport that you chose. You are in a random airport, which I think it's the same as the tutorial missions in FS 2020. Which, I mean, I kind of understand, because it's like missions and they have to make the characters talk and stuff like that, and I guess it's tricky to make that be able to happen in every airport. But it's just a tiny detail that makes the difference after all. But I think the idea of having a career mode is something that is a game changer, but they just didn't implement it the way I expected them to do. And of course, the Walkaround. You cannot go outside in FS 2020. And here you can move the airplane, you can touch stuff, you can remove chocks, covers, and you can do all of that. In 2020, you're sort of just stuck with the exterior view and the drone view, and that's it. You don't have anything else. Another thing I sort of miss is the replay mode, which in here, I guess you have it right here. But it was a bit confusing to work with. And if I don't forget, I'm actually going to use it in our landing. So, oh yeah, speaking of that, this is going to be my, well, not my first landing, but my second landing on this Flight Simulator 2024, Jesus. So, I don't promise anything. I don't promise. Oh, that's a bit of turbulence. Cool. I don't promise anything. I don't promise us to come back alive in this landing, but we will see. We will see. Let me check where we are. Okay. Is there any way I can fix the view on the airplane? There we go. Just need to reselect. And yeah, while I could actually make a procedure for the approach and stuff, I don't think it's totally necessary. Mostly because the conditions are pretty much perfect for the visual approach, and our last leg is quite literally pointed directly at the airport. So yeah, there is absolutely no need to make, although I could likely use this to practice an ILS landing. It's still quite tricky for me to get around that. Yeah, we got a nice view outside. Oops. We got a sunset, and I actually set the time so it was about an hour time before the late sunset. That's really my main objective. I think with these clouds it will look just absolutely wonderful. And about the destination airport, it is located in Aveiro, obviously, and the city itself is very, very beautiful. I definitely recommend you visit it if you ever come to Portugal. It is like the Venice of Portugal. So you got like the river in the middle of the city, and they got these boats. They're really awesome. You should actually visit it if you ever come to Portugal. So yeah, I think we're making our way to Bamog. Okay. So this is 34 nautical miles. So it is not actually the longest leg. It is equally large compared to the Bamog-Arvav leg. Both are 34 nautical miles. It's the same distance. But it is on this leg that we get to see the airbase, which should be towards this direction. Of course, we can't really get close to it. Wait, I think those are droplets. And not a tsunami. I think it is rain. Our windshield is very dirty. Anyways, yeah. In terms of interactivity, this game actually wins over 2020. But I still think the UI was a bit more simpler in 2020. I like the main menu. I really do. It looks awesome here. And I mean, the idea of having like a career mode, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome because in 2020 you had to install a mod to actually be able to do sort of a career mode, and it wasn't perfect, obviously. So I think it was a great idea. Anyways, let's check the ATC if we can tune in. Montreal approach, nope. But yeah, Montreal is the actual airbase. We don't want that. If we tune in, okay, we need to, yeah, we can do this. That's what I was looking for.
Monte Real Tower, Diamond Sierra, India, Lima Lima Yankee, is type Diamond DA62, 6 miles northwest of Lima Papa.
We are probably a bit too late on the requesting the transition, but whatever.
Diamond Sierra, India, Lima Lima Yankee, transition approved. Report clear of Monte Real Tower airspace.
Alright, we will report clear once we
Report clear. Diamond Lima Lima
get
Yankee.
out of their airspace. Let me just check if the airspace is visible here on the... Okay, it is, actually, it is. We actually had to ask for permission on this spot. So it's just a tiny bit late. We can also see the waypoints that go into the airbase. That looks so cool. That looks awesome. And also in this game in 2024, you got all of the heliports, which is a thing that the 2020 doesn't have. So that's another point to FS 2024. So yeah. Oh, and of course it has tons of helicopters. I mean, I don't even know what actual version of the game I have, because I thought that the Xbox Pass gave it only access to the standard version. But the thing is, I have the A400, which I believe is only a deluxe edition aircraft, so I'm not sure about that. I'm really not sure. But again, it's €1 for 14 days. I think it's worth it. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy content like this, actually, because it is my first time bringing this game to you, and I haven't really been active on the channel that much. So if you enjoy videos like this, let me know. And if you have any suggestions... Oh, there's the airbase. We can see it pretty clearly. See the LS lights over there. There we go, see. It's really cool. But yeah, that's the airbase that is home of 2 squadrons, and both are for fighter jets, F-16s, well. And they are called the Jaguars and the Falcons, I believe. Both are F-16s bases, and they are active 24/7 for any scramble alerts. They're the ones responsible for our airspace, and they are tactically positioned here because this is pretty much the center of the country, on the coastline, of course, not, you know, west to east, but they can get anywhere within like 15 minutes, and I think that's cool. That is super cool. So yeah, I was going to talk about another thing, but I forgot. I don't know, man. I just, you know, when 2020 came out, the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, the difference from FSX was brutal. It was a brutal change. I mean, we went from a flight simulator that it technically had the whole world, but it didn't have satellite imagery, and if you wanted satellite imagery, you had to pay a lot of money for that. Or if you could get the 120 gigabyte satellite imagery file from the I forgot the name of the website, but it is for free, but it took like hours, maybe days to download, because that website is limited to like 5 megabytes per second downloads. So yeah, if you wanted, you really had to really want it. And yeah, on 2020 you could literally see your house, and I think that difference is brutal. And I gotta be honest, as a kid, I have the idea of being able to see your own house in a flight simulator game never crossed my mind when I was a child. I simply wouldn't think that was even possible, you know. It's just incredible, really. how far we've come. And Flight Simulator is the only game that has the whole world, I believe. If we don't include Minecraft 1.1 Build the Earth project, which is not finished. So yeah, I mean, the idea is just brutal. You can see everything. You can check out a neighborhood, a house, you can visit a friend in this game, you can land a helicopter anywhere you'd like, you can replicate flights, you can do anything you want, really. And I think that's insanely cool. I was thinking about bringing Euro Truck Simulator as a series, and I know, I have talked about this for a very long time. The thing is just, I don't know, man. I have recorded videos already for supposed series on Euro Truck Simulator, but the thing is, I always get bored through long drives because I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to say. And I used to do a thing where it was like, on every episode I would talk about news about the game. And it kind of worked because I did time lapses on the videos. So instead of being like the full unedited trip, I did like 2 trips and then I did time lapses of those. And I did a voiceover in the video where I would talk about the future of the game and news and whatever came out on that day and the week and whatever. And you know, it was a cool idea and I actually liked doing this, but I don't know. I don't think that got the engagement that I was expecting. Probably because I just thought it was gonna work because I have a video about Euro Truck Simulator and that video is literally breaking records in my channel. I actually do think it's going to pass my most viewed video on my channel, which is, well, actually let me check because I thought it was like 20,000, but it has passed that already. So videos, sort by most watched, and yeah, the first one has 25,000 views, and the Euro Truck skin tutorial has 24,000. So I do think it's going to pass it. So it's going to be a new record for over 4 years. I think that's cool. Don't know about you, but I do think that's cool. And if it ever breaks records, I don't know, because I did actually the series on Euro Truck Simulator. I actually did the series on like in Portuguese. I didn't speak English on the voiceover. Yeah. And yeah, speaking of that, we are already on our last leg. Yeah, because after this waypoint, it's just straight to the runway. So this is the last leg, and once we get close to the finish in the leg, we will go down to 3,000 feet. And once we get to this leg, we should be fully prepared for landing. So let's see how it goes. We still have some sunlight left. Let's look outside a little. I just like the idea of being able to see every little town and every house and every street and the buildings and the towers and antennas and cars and boats, and you can see everything in this game. Like, just just process how big this project was. And then you come to think about why they actually took so long to release a new flight simulator. Because I don't actually know what happened, because before 2020 it was just FSX, which was released in the 2006. So it took them 14 years to make this game. By the way, this is Figueira da Foz, which is a very known city. And yeah, I just think that idea is brutal. It's just insane. Having the whole world in your computer and being able to fly anywhere you'd like and see stuff and visit monuments and houses and historic buildings and whatnot. It's just, you have everything in your hands. That's amazing. And it's not only a thing for computer, it's also for Xbox. That's also cool. And I think for PS5 too. I think 2024 is already available for PS5. Anyways, yeah, I just cannot wait for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 to actually become a stable game that is actually worth $80. Because if it is actually worth that money, I will buy it and I will bring more videos on it. But for now, I think the plan is just to stay with 2020, and if there is any major update that, is actually a game changer and fixes all these errors and bugs and everything that's wrong with this, I will consider moving permanently. Because believe it or not, I was stuck with FSX for a long time, even after FS 2020 released. I was only recently able to purchase 2020. It was my dream, actually. Man, I never thought I'd get this far. I never thought this would get this far. So yeah, we are at 347 subscribers as time of recording. I don't know. I was never expecting this. I don't even know why those two videos got over 20,000 views. I think it was just a glitch in the algorithm, because I really don't know why. I really don't know. Gosh, this is a beautiful view. I still don't know who this guy is and why he's... I don't even know. I don't even want to know. I'll just... whatever. He doesn't do anything. He just sits there. He doesn't help me in anything. I still have to do everything. He just sits there and watches. Are you like a trainer? Are you like an examiner? Or just taking the ride and pretending I don't even exist? You don't talk to me. You don't do anything. You just stay there and watch and look at me weirdly sometimes. Hey, I'm talking to you. No? Alright. I really don't know, because I supposedly removed the co-pilot's weight on the weight and balance. And this guy still fucking shows up. I don't know. I do not know. If you guys know how to remove the co-pilot, please let me know. I would be very, very much appreciated. Alright, we can see Aveiro already. It's right in front of us. I think those are droplets on the windshield. But yeah, Aveiro is in this part, like this whole thing. actually the city itself, it's more on this side. And the airport is on this area, right in front of us. Yeah, right here. So, yeah. We'll stay on 4,000. Actually, I think I will already descend to 3,000. So, for that, we need to first of all select our desired altitude. Oh, Jesus. This one, 3,000. Then we select vertical speed mode, and we click nose down. We'll go at about 300 feet per minute. I think it's fine. We're not in a hurry. And yeah, I think we had to report clear of airspace, which we already are. Whoops. I completely forgot about that.
Diamond Lima Lima Yankee is clear the Monte Real Tower airspace.
Diamond Lima Lima Yankee, Monte Real Tower, frequency change approved.
Okay, so now we can already tune in to São Jacinto. We will select the tune traffic. We'll select runway 35, and we'll announce a full stop landing. And yeah, I guess we will announce position.
Lima Papa Alpha Victor traffic. Diamond Sierra India Lima Lima Yankee. 18 miles south, 3,700. Inbound to land. Runway tree 5. Lima Papa Alpha Victor.
Yeah, they're not gonna reply to us. Okay, so 18 miles south, we are already descending, and okay, we can probably descend a little faster. We'll go for 100. Okay, and we are overspeeding a little bit, so I will remove some of the throttle. Notice how we are just like sliding through. We're not going straight in the path. We are like drifting a little bit. That's probably because of the wind blowing our tail from the west. Probably, yeah. But the flight computer makes sure we are still heading the correct direction. Wow, look at that. I need to thumbnail farm. Hold on a second, guys. Let me just see if I can take a good picture. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. I accidentally clicked this. Whoops, we lost an engine. Sorry about that. Whoops. That was nothing. You guys saw absolutely nothing. Jesus. That would be catastrophic. Alright, let's descend a little bit more. Let's go to 1,500. Vertical speed mode, and we'll go for 500 feet per minute. In the meanwhile, we can zoom in a little bit. Oh, we are getting a bit closer than I was expecting. Let's just remove a bit of throttle, and we will go through the descent. Oh, and it's funny because the checklist for the descent just says the following: power as required, airspeeds as required, and trim as required. I don't Thank you so much. That is very informative. That helps me a lot in this procedure, you know. I think they really thought about giving us clear instructions on the descent. I'm joking. You obviously don't need much to descend. You just remove some throttle, apply some brakes if needed, and if you have them, and that's basically it. Okay, we can actually see the airport just right there. That's the runway. We will announce our position, because this time we are not
Lima Papa
horrendously far from the airport.
Diamond Sierra India Lima Lima Yankee, 8 miles south, 2,400 inbound.
And here's our last waypoint.
Lima Papa Alpha Victor.
And we move a bit more speed and flaps down 1 notch. We can also turn on the taxi and landing lights. And yeah, I don't like how the airplane doesn't actually point us. Well, like it seems like we're going this way and not this way. Get what I mean? It's not completely straight to the runway. If we had an ILS approach, which I don't even think this airport has an ILS approach. Whoops. slight error there. Alright, whatever. Our speed is decreasing a little bit. Anyways, gear down. And we will also 400 feet and vertical speed mode. We'll go for about 500 feet per minute. Oh wait, that's automatic. Okay, whatever. You know what I will do now, I think, is I will turn off the autopilot, so we will hear just a tiny beep. Wait, sorry. There we go, and now flaps full. And I'm just going to do the correction because, yeah, this way we're not going to point ourselves to anything but the ground. So just a tiny bit more power, just because I'm not liking that airspeed. Look at this. This is stable as a brick. Alright, we will call for final. And that's it.
Papa Alpha Victor traffic. Diamond Sierra India Lima Lima Yankee is on final. Runway tree 5.
There we go. Now we are way more
Alpha Victor.
straight on that approach. Okay, flaps are full, landing gears down, and we also need to turn on this fuel pumps. Alright. Up a little bit. Oi, whoops. Alright. It's just a tiny bit fast. Remove some of the throttle. We also don't want to stall. Just have to be careful. Up just a tiny bit. Try up some flare. And touchdown. Yeah, that wind on our tail is not helping us keeping the center line. But we did it. We did fine. We are alive. We are alive. And here's a taxiway. See if we can catch it in time. I don't think we can. Okay, what we'll do is we will just do just a tiny bit turn around here. Oh, look at that sunset. Oh my god, that is stunning. That is beautiful. And we'll go here. We'll also announce taxi to parking.
Lima Papa Alpha Victor traffic. Diamond Sierra India Lima Lima Yankee is taxiing to parking. Lima Papa Alpha Victor.
Oh man, that sunset is gorgeous. It was definitely worth it. I definitely timed it right for the late sunset. Whoa, is that a Super Tucano? Wow. Okay, wow. I didn't even know there was. Okay. Some cool airplanes. I will just park between these two. Probably. Yep. And there we go. Okay, so parking brake. All right. Power fully idle. And we can now turn off the fuel pumps. Let's also turn off the left engine first. Shut down. And the right engine. There we go. So now pitot heat off. We'll turn off all of these lights. I should have turned off the landing lights first once we were taxiing, but doesn't matter. Avionics off. And alternators off. We will also cut the fuel on the full position, please. There we go. Fold the armrest once again. The trim is set for takeoff. We'll set that. And yeah, that's it basically. So battery off. And that's it. We are safe and sound. Let's go outside. Oh yeah, the flaps. Whoopsie. Whoops. Oops. Forgot just that tiny detail. All right. Now yes, we can turn off the battery completely. And yeah, that's it. Now we can't really pull the covers back on, unfortunately. That option isn't available for some reason. But whoa. We got an achievement for walking 5 kilometers on foot. All right. I think that was pretty cool. I did what I wanted. The landing could be better. It could, you know. But overall, I think we did a great job. I think we did. So let me just go to where is it? Free cam. And I'm just going to go down because I really like this view. And the sunset and stuff. Looks so cool to me. Thumbnail farming once again. Anyways. Yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. It was awesome. I really liked it. Of course, this game has just those little errors that keep me from actually buying this game. But overall, I think it is a better game. But I just think it needs a little more work for me to actually pay 80 bucks for it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below. any game, anything you want, anything you'd like to see on the channel, let me know. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.